and welcome to How to Create a Quiz in Moodle. In order to create a quiz, you must be in editing mode, so come up and turn editing on. As you can see, there is a pull-down menu, add a resource and add an activity in each one of these weeks. So you select the week that you want to have the quiz in, and that's where you're going to use the pull-down menu, add an activity, quiz. And it's called quiz in add an activity, but you can name it whatever you want. You can name it test, or you can name it exam, or you can name it assessment, but I'm going to go ahead and just call it quiz 2. And here is the introduction to the quiz. So you can write something in here such as, this quiz covers the material in week 4, or whatever you want to do. Down here, open the quiz, close the quiz. You want to disable this, because once you open the quiz and close the quiz, this quiz will not be available after the 17th of August 2011 at 1 p.m. It won't be, it'll close. So you want to disable it until you are ready to provide it to your students. So you come on down here and you take a look. Questions per page, unlimited, but you can change the number of questions per page that the students will see. Shuffle the questions if you have 10 questions and you want them shuffled every time. But in my case, I don't want them shuffled because maybe I'm going to have ones that follow up on the previous one. Shuffle within questions, that means you want the questions within to shuffle around. And I'm going to have some true false, so no, I don't want to shuffle it within questions because one will be true false, next one will be false true. And so I want to keep them consistent. Attempts allowed, unlimited and up to 10. I want to have just 1. But if I wanted to have unlimited, I could build on each attempt and have it in adaptive mode. These are more advanced features, but I'm not going to use them right now. I'm just going to go ahead and say 1 attempt. Grading method. Now if I had them do, say, you can go up to 5 attempts. I can do highest grade, average grade, first attempt, last attempt. But since I'm just doing 1, it doesn't matter. But I can change the grading method. I can also apply penalties. If they get the question wrong, then they get points deducted. No, I don't think so. Not this time. Now you want to review your options too. Immediately after the attempt, the student clicks on this is the what I want to submit, this answer. And you can have their responses shown, the answers shown, feedback, general feedback, scores, and overall feedback. I think I just want the responses immediately after the 10. Later, when the quiz is still open, where they can close it and come back at another time, no, I don't want them to know the answers. And after the quiz is closed, so after it's done and this date that you're going to put up here, let's say you actually do want this to be closed on the 20th of August at 11:55, that after the quiz is closed, then the students will see the responses and the answers and the feedback and the general feedback and the scores. Yeah, this is what you want. So there's no browser security, no group modes, overall feedback. After the quiz is closed, if you wanted to put overall feedback in here, for example, if you get a 100%, the feedback can be, excellent. You did a wonderful job. Then maybe if they got 90%, you can do something like very good. And so forth. You can put them on there. And then you're going to save and display. If you do save and return to course, well, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to save and display. And now you can actually create the quiz questions. You're in edit mode. So Default for Demonstration 101 is the category. If I put my questions in here, I will be able to access all of my questions for multiple quizzes. And for the final and for the midterm, I can bring them in from this test bank. But I want to have just for quiz 2. These questions are only for quiz 2. You see, if I go back to Demonstration 101, you can have, see, there's already a question in here. I'm going to go and change that to default for quiz 2. Now, I can choose a new question. I'm going to create a new question. So come down here to choose. I'm going to do a true false. And here is my true false. So I could give it a name, something that I will know the answer to, but I'm just going to call this Q1, meaning question 1. Here is the question text. Do they have a 4th of July in England? A and D, question mark. Come down here. Default question grade, it's worth 1 point. General feedback, if you want to put general feedback in there. Now you choose the correct answer. The correct answer is true. And then you have feedback for the response for the true question. Everyone has a 4th of July. Only in America is it a holiday. There. And you go feedback for the response false. You could even do both. This is feedback for both a true answer and a false. There we go. Save the changes. Now you see, I have a Q1. That's question 1. I'm going to do another one. This time I'm going to do a multiple choice. Same thing. I'll call this Q2. Let's see. How many stamps are in... Oh, how many... Go back, do this right. 2-cent stamps are in a dozen. Come down. Default question grade 1. If there's a penalty factor, put that in there. General feedback, not going to put any. 1 or multiple answers. How many answers, correct answers are to this question? Only 1. You want to shuffle the choices in between? Yeah, on this one we'll go ahead. Number the choices. You want lowercase, uppercase, 1, 2, 3, no numbering. I'm going to leave it with lowercase. The answer is, how many 2-cent stamps are there in a dozen? 12. Now here's the grade, because there's only one answer. When they get this one right, it's 100% right. If 2 answers are right, then they'll be worth 50% each, or maybe one is worth more than the other. Maybe one answer is 75% right, the other one's 25% right. But it all has to add up to 100%. Feedback, just put in here that is correct. And then answer number 2, we're going to see 6. Grade none because it's wrong. Feedback. There are a dozen stamps, no matter how much they are worth. I'm going to copy this because we have another answer that's going to be wrong. Copy, scroll down. Answer 9. Grade none because it's wrong. And paste. And yes, there are more answer choices. We just skip along. Don't need it. Overall feedback if you wanted to. Or for partially correct or any incorrect, that's it. And save the changes. See, now I have 2 questions, 1 and 2. Let's do another one. Let's do an essay question. Essay question is Q3. Question text. Is it legal for a man in California to marry his widow's sister? Why or why not? And we come down, default question grade. We want this to be 1 point. So maybe we want this to be a 5 point. 5.1. General feedback. In feedback, we want this here is going to be the answer to the question. So when you go to grade it, you'll be able to see what the answer is. So here, we put, it is not illegal, but it is impossible. You see where we're going? He can't marry her because he is dead. And there you go. Save the changes. So now I have 3 questions. 1, 2, 3. Now, question 1, which is true, false, and question 2, which is multiple choice, Moodle will grade those automatically. With the third one, which is the essay question, that one must be graded manually. Now, I have added these questions to the test bank, but they have not been added to the quiz yet. I have to actually click these little buttons, add to quiz. See, now that one is added. Second one, that one's added, and this one. Now, total 7. 5, 6, 7 points. I can change these here. I can change this to be 2, that one to be 2, and I save the changes. That makes it 9. But you see, maximum grade 10. That means if you wanted to give extra credit, you can get extra credit only up to a maximum of 10. But I think I still want this to be 1 point and that to be 1 point. And I have a total of, let me save the changes, we'll see that that's 7. So I want to change my maximum grade to 7 to match. Save the changes. View it. Here you got to preview the question. Here it is. Do they have a 4th of July in England? This one here, preview it. Yep, how many 2-cent stamps are in a dozen? Here it says choose 1 answer. If it was 2, it would say choose 2 answers. And this one. Is it legal for a man in California to marry his widowed sister? Why or why not? And this is where the students would type in their answers. And if you wanted to edit the questions, you can go in and edit them. Save changes, save it as a new question. You can take them off if you want. If you want this one to be first, you can press this little up button. You can have that be the first question. Save the changes. And you're done. If you want to preview it, click preview. That's the whole thing. See, the students can do it and they can submit. They can submit without saving or save without submitting. Submit page, submit all, and finish. It's for the students to do. And when you go back here to the course, you see I added it way down here. Quiz 2. When the students click on it, they have this. Oh, the quiz closes, so better continue. Continue with the last preview. And that's how you create a quiz in Moodle.